It's time to duel!
Hello YouTube, Baby Jace here, and today I want to talk about Breath of Sindragosa and kind of have like an update on it. The last time I made one of these guide videos for Breath of Sindragosa, I was kind of unsure. I had very little experience and kind of just asked people, hey, like, what do I do here? And I just kind of went with it. So the guide wasn't really the best, and we certainly learned a lot along the way. The first thing that you'll notice is different is the talent setup is way different from what I used on that PTR test. Murderous efficiency is still the best. However, Freezing Fog is now incredibly powerful, especially if you have the legendary helmet. It's actually just so powerful. And mostly I'm using Freezing Fog even though I don't have the legendary helmets because I have 4-piece. With 4-piece generating runic power on Howling Blast rhymes, you can go Freezing Fog and maybe you'll have like a little less uptime on your Breath of Sindragosa compared to Horn of Winter, but your Freezing Fogs just make everything so powerful throughout the fight. So I definitely think the Freezing Fog is the way to go when you get your 4 set, which you should if you know you're doing mythic progression. DK 4 set's probably the second best Vanquisher you can get, Rogue of course being the best. Nothing can compete with Assassination boss damage. It's just absurd what they do, but you know, what can you do, right? For this row, 58, you're going to go Hungering Rune Weapon. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. 60 and 75, who gives a fuck, doesn't matter. 90, Gathering Storm. This is one that I did not see coming. I kind of just assumed a Runic Attenuation would be better. You know, you gain 1 Runic Power every second, every 15, or you know, not every second, but every auto attack. Like, I was like, oh, this is so powerful. Gathering Storm just does so much fucking damage. It's unreal the amount of damage you can do with Gathering Storm. And another bonus you get with Gathering Storm is that if you can keep your Remorseless Winter going until the cooldown of Remorseless Winter comes up, you just hit it and it refreshes that shit back up to 8-9 seconds. And now you have like another long Remorseless Winter that's just sitting at 10 stacks and it just does so much damage. I previously said if there was no cap at 10 that this talent would be pretty good. But I now realize if there was no cap at 10, this talent would be fucking bonkers. It would actually just make DK probably the best DPS by miles. Like, the amount of damage you would have been able to do is just so tremendous. So, there's a reason why it's capped, and because it'd be too good. And of course, the last talent is Breath of Sindragosa itself. If it wasn't for this talent, you wouldn't be watching a Breath of Sindragosa guide, right? So, yeah, there you go. As far as stats go, Crit Haste are both very solid stats. As far as why I have so much fucking versatility and mastery, it's just the gear I have. Before, maybe you kind of like sacrificed a little eye level for better stats. However, with Breath of Sindragosa, you definitely go for eye level on everything. Eye level is just king. If an item has mastery versatility on it, it doesn't fucking matter. The eye level is so huge that it's just that good. As far as Might of Croesus, do not trap yourself into believing this trinket is good because I'm using it. I'm literally only using it because I have a 920 version of it. It is like 300 DPS higher than an 890 Foci. So just, and this is single target. On AoE, I probably would not use this trinket. I don't know. Just don't trap yourself into this. The trinket is a gigantic ass meme for me because of Titan Forge. As far as the relics go, you're going to want to try and stay with Blast Radius. The only thing better than a Blast Radius relic at, say, 890 is going to be an Ambidexterity relic at 915. So if a 910 Ambidexterity relic drops, I will not replace my 890 Blast Radius. It's just too good. But the rankings are Blast Radius and then Ambidexterity to round it out. Okay, so let's get a little talk about the opener. So on your opener, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the most optimal, at least with my gear setup. Remember, I don't have the ring, I don't have the belt, I don't have the helm. This is just, if you got just fucking like shitty ass RNG with your legendaries, this is probably the best opener you're gonna go for. And just understand that you're not gonna do as much damage as someone with, you know, Abyss legendaries, and there's no shame in that. I also don't even have a cough, so like I'm literally at the worst RNG you could get with DK. So if I can make it work, anyone could really make it work, man. Like just RNG sucks, and just you know, don't dwell on it like I was doing these last couple weeks. You're just gonna make yourself miserable playing this game like I did. So on the poll, you're gonna pre-pot obviously at 1. Speaking of pot, I was using Brawler's Guild earlier. You don't want to pre-pot and you know, Howling Blast at 1, and then when you're running in there, you're gonna use Remorseless Winter, and then you're gonna Pillar and double Obliterate. And then after the double Obliterate, you're going to Breath of Sindragosa. And actually, you don't even want to Pillar on the double Obliterate. You could Pillar with the Breath. Either way works. I always flip-flop back and forth depending on how much I'm paying attention. And then you want to, you know, use your Blood Elf Racial. And here's like the tricky part. And then you really want to keep your Remorseless Winter going until it comes off cooldown again. This can be hard, and often it requires you to just spam the fuck out of Obliterate. But let's be real, if by the end of your Hungering Rune weapon, you have full runes, it doesn't even matter if you're spamming the Obliterate. So like, generally what happens is by the time I've like done the extend, the Hungering Rune weapon's still going, and I end up with full runic and full runes. So like, it works out anyways. And with your tier, you're gonna kind of have to get used to knowing when to Howling Blast and when to just start going into full Obliterate spam mode. Now, if you don't have Lust on pull, this is going to be so much harder. The Lust actually makes or breaks this. Sometimes I can extend without Lust, but it's really hard. With Lust, though, it's very nice. It's very easy, too. And you can expect, with mediocre to shit tier RNG, you're going to get a 30 to 35 second breath. If you get God mode RNG, or you have like multiple targets for like runic power procs off your Frost Fever, I've had 50 to 60 second breaths, but these are so damn rare. We are talking, you are getting so many Killing Machine procs that you are proccing your Murder Sufficiency a lot. You're getting so many runic empowerment procs. Like your RNG just has to be absurd to get this kind of like, you know, breath. But it happens, you know. What can I say? So we're going to do a sample pull timer. I'm not going to use Dragon here because it's going to kind of skew the DPS since it will hit the mobs in the back here. So we're not going to Dragon here, but this is going to be my pull timer. I hope to God I don't fuck this up because I'm going to have to record another one. So here we go. And up in the top left corner you'll see the abilities that I'm using.
4.
Alright boys, I did fuck up. I forgot to look. So we're gonna give this another shot with Lust, and hopefully I don't mess it up this time.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Forgot to Lust again, so we're just going to start going into Obliterate spam mode. And, you know, we're probably going to be okay here. We're definitely going to see this reset. There's the reset, and then I can start, you know, keeping it easy. And, you know, we'll see what happens here. It's not looking too hot, but things could change, you know? We've got the Lust. Now, you can sometimes go for this last reset. It just kind of depends on your RNG, you know? But it looks like we are going to get a decent, you know, breath. That was a 45 second breath. I mean, it's not bad. You could definitely do some work without legendaries, you know? Don't think that you can't do good with legendaries. You just got to practice it a little bit. That was okay. You know, that was a pretty okay opener. We did some damage there. No dragon, 900 something K DPS. Your damage kind of drops off a bit, but I mean, like, it's a solid opener. As far as your rotation outside the opener, you kind of just played the same. Pillar on cooldown, you know, leading up to another Breath of Sindragosa, you know, hold off on using your runes. Try and go into it with full runes, full runic. If you can. Sometimes I forget, and then I'm like, fuck, man. I have to wait how long to, like, breath, get a good second breath off? Because remember, all my second and, fourth breath and sixth breath, etc., they're all going to be shit. I don't have cough, and I don't have the ring, so I'm not going to have the Hungry Moon weapon. And those breaths are usually 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, and my RNG is just shit. 20 seconds if it's, 20 plus seconds if it's good. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. So, you just gotta play with the hand that you're dealt. And before you ask again, for the love of God, sim yourself. If you don't know if a piece is better, if a trinket is better, whatever, sim yourself. Please, just do it. Get into the habit of doing it. It's very easy to sim. It's how I'm able to come up with, choices. Is this Might of Croesus good or not? Which it's not, but it happens to be slightly better than whatever I have. How much am I fucked because I got a KJ's Burning Wish instead of the belt, ring, or helm? Just stupid ass stuff like that. And that's how I get my stat weights. So, sim yourself, because if you ask me for my stat weights, I'm going to ignore your question. That is the one question I hate the most, is what are your stat weights? I kind of go for crit, kind of go for haste, but really eye level is king. The tier shoulders are really good, but this is a 925 socketed. Who fucking cares what the stats are? This piece of shit could be mastery verse, and it wouldn't even matter, because it's 925. This thing was 600, or it was 570 something more strength than what I had. It doesn't matter if they're your two worst stats. The strength is what matters. And with that, I will say goodnight to you, and I hope you have success with breath. And make sure you subscribe, please.